Stories from Saul the Gundog is a retro-styled visual novel that blends mystery, paranoia, and deep space danger. Set 4 years after the Solar War, the Jovian patrol ship Gundog embarks on what should be a routine mission, only to find itself facing an unknown threat lurking at the edge of Jovian space. As the ship's security officer, players must uncover the truth while navigating tensions among a crew on the brink of distrust. Every conversation, every clue, and every decision could mean survival or destruction. With a love letter to classic 80s sci-fi and PC 9800 adventures, the game offers a richly detailed, fully explorable ship, complete with intricate mechanics and a cast of compelling characters. War may be over, but in the cold void of space, danger is only just beginning. Buckle up, there's something out there, and it's not friendly. The response to the game is overwhelmingly positive, with players praising Gundog as a standout adventure that transcends its retro inspirations. It doesn't just mimic the PC 98 array, refines and elevates it, delivering a gripping story with layered characters, stunning art, and an atmosphere that pulls players deep into its world. The game is packed with nods to classic sci-fi, from Gundam 0083 to Snatcher, yet remains fresh and engaging for newcomers. Fans of mecha, point-and-click adventures, and visual novels will find a meticulously crafted experience that rewards attention to detail and thoughtful choices. The writing is sharp, the soundtrack immersive, and the world-building rich, making for a game that players don't just enjoy, they get lost in. The only real comply. Fall of the Stick Knights is a chaotic local multiplayer brawler where wobbly physics meets medieval mayhem. Up to 4 players can jump in, battling AI enemies or each other while customizing their warriors with a deck-building system that permanently alters stats. With over 40 weapons, 90 maps, and a character editor, every match feels different, sometimes strategic, sometimes ridiculous. Originally a passion project by a 16-year-old just wanting to see his game on Steam, it's far from perfect, but that's part of the charm. Bugs, plenty. Balance, questionable. Fun with friends? Absolutely. Early reactions to the game suggest that it delivers chaotic, over-the-top fun with simple yet engaging mechanics. Players compare it to Stick Fight and Rounds, appreciating its fast-paced action and hilarious moments. While many enjoy the absurdity and customization options, a common request is the addition of online multiplayer to avoid relying on workarounds like Parsec. Some mention bugs that need fixing, but the overall sentiment remains positive, with players praising it as a solid free alternative in the genre. The game's soundtrack also gets a nod, appealing to fans of energetic beats. Tribe 9 is a high-stakes battle for survival in the neon-lit streets of Neo-Tokyo, where deadly games decide the fate of its citizens. In a world where dreams are stolen and freedom is a prize worth fighting for, players take control of a trio of warriors, each with their own unique fighting style and strategies. The action never stops as allies adapt to the chaos, drawing enemies in, healing wounds, and striking at the perfect moment with devastating combo attacks. Exploration, puzzles, and side quests keep the city alive, while customization options let players shape their characters to match their playstyle, turning a healer into a fearsome attacker. With new stories and cities arriving through updates, the battle for Neo-Tokyo is only just beginning. The future may be uncertain, but one thing is clearly the strongest will reclaim their destiny. Players are of the opinion that this game is shaping up to be a pinnacle of gacha gaming, even before release. With striking art by Kamitsuzaki Rui and fluid, well-designed combat, it blends the narrative depth of a visual novel with engaging ARP mechanics. The gameplay is fast, strategic, and surprisingly generous to free-to-play players, allowing even starter units to clear all content. Characters stand out with unique personalities and well-integrated lore, while the soundtrack and voice acting elevate the experience. Though the beta had visual bugs, they were swiftly patched, Some mechanics lack explanation, and the artifact system feels underwhelming in its growth. The gacha rates are standard but stingy at launch, offering minimal free pulls. Despite that, the game's storytelling and world building have won over fans. If Danganronpa as an ARP sounds appealing, this might be a must-play. Microtopia is a captivating strategy game where players guide a colony of robot ants through a world of electronic waste, building intricate transport networks and optimizing their workforce. The goal is simple yet profound: reproduce and expand. By designing efficient layouts with sensors and logic gates, colonies grow stronger, unlocking new technologies and specialized ant castes like diggers, flyers, and inventors. Exploration leads to vibrant biomass filled with unique plant species, each offering new resources to harness. The ultimate triumph: sending young queens on their nuptial flight to start the cycle anew. In Microtopia, survival isn't just about efficiency, it's about legacy. Players are of the opinion that Microtopia is a fresh and engaging take on the automation genre, replacing traditional factory setups with a living, breathing insect colony. Instead of conveyor belts and robotic arms, players must balance their workforce of robotic ants, ensuring efficient resource gathering, managing their limited lifespans, and optimizing colony logistics. The early access to grid floors helps structure the chaos, while the vast tech tree provides plenty of long-term depth. Some find the complexity surprising, expecting a more casual experience, but those willing to invest the time are rewarded with intricate and satisfying mechanics. The game's charming aesthetics, well-designed achievements, and relaxing yet strategic gameplay make it stand out. However, some players mention that the ambient sounds can become repetitive over time. Overall, Microtopia delivers an innovative and addictive automation experience that feels both familiar and refreshingly unique. Abbey Monastery Brewery Tycoon is a delightful blend of brewing mastery and monastic management. Players craft unique ales, experiment with flavors, and guide their monastery to glory. With over 20 European beer styles to explore, every brew is an opportunity to perfect the craft, whether it's adjusting mash temperatures, or deciding if a batch is best aged in the cellar, or sold to the market. Life at the monastery isn't just about the beer, though. Monks need living quarters, production hubs, and a bit of divine intervention to stay happy. Above ground, build and manage essential spaces like the refectory and the abbot's office. Below, the sacred cold cellars await the most prized brews. But brewing isn't all peace and quiet. Players must navigate rival abbeys, appease demanding lords, and fend off pesky bandits. In Ale Abbey, the path to a brewing legacy is paved with hops, hard work, and a whole lot of holy ambition. Many players agree that this charming economic simulation is already a delight, even in early access. With its adorable pixel art, catchy music, and humorous writing, it creates an engaging world where brewing beer in a monastery becomes an addictive challenge. The mechanics are deep yet accessible, offering plenty of freedom to experiment and optimize. While some find the tutorial's transition into objectives a bit misleading, the game rewards those who take the time to strategize. Occasional quirks in UI and pacing don't overshadow the fun of crafting the perfect brew. A must-try for beer lovers and sim fans alike. Never Second in Rome is a turn-based historical RPG that puts you in the sandals of a Roman centurion under Julius Caesar's banner. Set during a time of political turmoil and looming war, you command a century in a newly raised legion right before the Gallic War begins. As you train your soldiers, lead them into fierce battles, and navigate text-based events, you'll experience the highs and lows of Roman military life. Every choice you make can shape the future of Rome. With a deep combat system and a rich narrative full of historical detail, it's clear that, in this game, every second counts. Also, Don't Be Fooled, The Road to Glory may not be as easy as marching in formation. Interesting is that the game brings a fresh take on its historical setting, with players leading their century through Caesar's campaigns. While the first few hours can be rewarding, with well-explained mechanics and a solid foundation, some players find it lacking the charm of previous titles, particularly in replay value. The absence of meta-progression leaves the experience feeling repetitive for some, as skill checks and dice rolls dominate gameplay, with little room for long-term growth or strategy. The UI, criticized for its clunkiness, adds to the frustrations. However, those who enjoyed the original game will find much to appreciate in the tactical elements, even if it's still rough around the edges.